very much in the way that the Whigs were eventually replaced. We could be replacing the Democrats as a fundamental party with a better party that would take over and move forward with actual policies, with actual progress.
Do you have any other thoughts that you want to share with Status Coup viewers before we let you go continue protesting?
Keep tuned to Status Coup.
Hey, it's Jordan. I am in Flint, Michigan, East Palestine, Ohio, Tumwa, Iowa. Please support the only independent outlet on the ground covering what the corporate media covers up.
We noticed your sign. Would you mind talking to us about, it's two-sided. Would you mind explaining your signs?
Sure, you were very eloquent with the Luigi.
Well, I just think that what happened with Luigi Mangione was a shock to our country, and it was a moment where we weren't looking left and right, we were looking up and down and seeing where the real problem was, which was the oligarchy, right? And that the rest of us are suffering in so many ways. And I think it shocked our country that people felt that way. So I do think in the future, if this ends as I'd like it to, that will, you know how they talked about the Archduke or whatever for World War I getting shot, that's our moment. That's our moment right there.
What do you think is going to happen?
I don't know. That's my other side, which is we need.
It says manifest a giant aneurysm.
I think we need some big change in order for anything good to happen. Let's just say.
What would you like that big change to look like? A big question.
A big question.
I mean, move further toward what Americans like to call socialism, but just, like universal health care. Put tax dollars to actual work for the government, for the people, basically. I mean, that's where it has to go. So yeah, someone like AOC and Bernie is the direction you want to go.
But the cult has to end. We have to end the cult of people who don't realize they're voting against their own interests directly. They need to be, disindoctrinated, I guess,
Absolutely. And
yeah, like the culture conversations kind of has to be put to the side now, and we have to get back to the economic, like back to unions, back to making a living, back to the idea of universal health care. Not the idea, but universal health care, so.
Absolutely. I mean, we at Status Coup are very sympathetic with all of that and in agreement. And I guess what you're saying is, whatever you want to call it, socialism, whatever, it's policies that actually center human beings and use our, and use our tax dollars.
The dirty word is ridiculous. Agree, yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the fact, a coup shouldn't be able to happen. We have to stop treating the Constitution as a Bible and update it like every other modern nation in the world has done, so that we can't have this concentration of power and get to this point now where, we don't know what's going to happen if he defies a court order. We don't know.
This very nice man was just saying that he found the march because of our coverage, which is very fun. So what else brought you out here besides this coverage?
Because our elected officials have shown that they're effectively incapable. They say, what can we do? And it's very much like the Knicks saying, well, your turn. Go ahead, play this game for us. We're down 15 points. So if they're unable to do it, the people have to stand up and do it.
Absolutely. Is there any particular issue that you are personally invested in more so than any others?
I guess it's the fundamental realization amongst the public that there needs to be a ingrained revolution amongst the people. It can't be something that starts from the top and works its way down. It has to come from the grassroots and build itself up and fundamentally change how we're playing the game, because we're clearly not playing the right game and no one's playing by the rules anymore. Why bother with trying to play the wrong game by the rules anymore? We really have to get out there and fundamentally build a movement, a revolution. As Bernie Sanders started in 2015, building that revolution that fundamentally changes how we approach politics, how we approach governance, and how we basically make a government of, by, and for the people.
Absolutely. That's all really well said. Do you have any thoughts on Bernie Sanders' Fight the Oligarchy tour that seems to be becoming a sort of movement, and whether or not that's going to translate into anything on the ground as far as grassroots momentum?
I absolutely could perceive it turning into a real push for a replacement party, very much in the way that the Whigs were eventually replaced. We could be replacing the Democrats as a fundamental party with a better party that would take over and move forward with actual policies, with actual progress, and most of all, having stuff that's achievable within your your election span, because it doesn't matter if you create a plan that's 5 years out if you're only in office for 4 years or 2 years. You really have to create something that's achievable within your political time period, so you're able to actually build upon that. And yeah, I absolutely could see that forming a new hunger for a new revolution.
Absolutely. Again, that's all really well said. Do you have any other thoughts that you want to share with Status Coup viewers before we let you go continue protesting?
Keep tuned to Status Coup.
Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here.
I work at a branch of CUNY. Most of my students are from somewhere else where their parents were. They're frightened, and because they don't always know how to find the right news, so it's on us to help them. And they've done nothing.
Absolutely, and I can't...
Not in our name. We have nothing to do with this. Leave the Jews alone.
Absolutely, and I think, especially with all the news coming out, especially with Columbia students right now, I can imagine that they are all fucking terrified, so I
don't know. I mean, but there's always people who are going to be terrified, whether or not it's a good reason, but Jews are sick of it, that we are being used for something that we don't want, and there's not the anti-Semitism that the government is talking about. So we're interested in putting our attention to the people who actually need it.
Yeah, I'm here for my students, my friends, my neighbors, family who are immigrants or LGBTQ+, and I'm also here for science.
Absolutely. I mean, again, it sounds like it is a very hard time to work at a university. Anyone that I know that works at a university is having a kind of moral quandary right now. So I applaud you for being out here. Is there anything else that you would want to share about why you're out here specifically as a professor?
I want to share that I think I have enormous privilege as a white cishet non-immigrant born in the country, and I think those of us have to be allies. Those of us with that privilege have a power and have to be allies for those who are not safe right now to be out here.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
We're hanging on a thread. We are in big trouble, and if we don't come out, everybody's got to come out and do this, because it's democracy, it's freedom, it's our liberty. And if we don't have due process, we don't have an America. A tiny sign for a tiny man.
I like that a lot. And
there's a whole bunch of things.
Yeah.
There's so many. I didn't have a big enough sign to put everything that I needed to put on it.
For sure, there's a myriad of issues that we are kind of faced with right now, so it's hard to address them all.
Great signs here. Just looking around just makes you feel better, because every day you listen to, podcasts and all these different things that's going on, and it's so upsetting. But you have to do something. And if you can't do anything, and if you are home, call, do something. Just spread the word.
Considering that we are faced with so many things right now, so, while we are all trying to address all of these issues that you've mentioned, climate change is still happening.
Absolutely. That's the other thing, too. He's taken forests. He just took Hawaii. She told me he gave waters in Hawaii. He's just changing everything. I mean, what does a straw mean? Why would you make something legal again? You know what I'm saying? We were going in the right direction. It's bad enough foreign governments own a lot of our water. We have to stop and take it back and care about the planet, because we don't have a planet and we don't have liberty. We don't have a country. The United States always has issues. I mean, we're not perfect. I'm not perfect. We always have issues, but if you don't have kindness, and you don't have empathy, and you don't have freedom. Those are the main basic rights. You know, women's rights. I mean, there's so many things that my head is full of, like swimming and thinking about it. But you have to start with the basics. And if you don't have life, liberty, and the pursuit of justice, you have nothing. You need liberty, and you need due cause. Due process. It's like so important.